Are you struggling with keeping your lead guitar playing clean? If that is the case, then you've come to the right place, because in this video today I'm going to show you how to tidy that up, both in fretting hand and picking hand muting. Okay, so what we're going to do to get that under our fingers, if you are new to my channel, my name's Anthony George from Cutting Edge Guitar, and I am currently running my YouTube viewers and subscribers through my high intensity guitar technique book 1. Okay, and what we're going to talk about here, example 8 that you can see on the screen from this book that I've written some years ago. It shows you, or actually let's just go back up, there should be an example 7, here we go. What we're looking at is playing, if you're reading the tab on the screen there, the 5th fret on the 6th string. Now imagine you're playing a riff or something like that along that string, and what you're hearing is all of the other strings underneath you ringing out. You don't want to hear that. What we're going to use is a technique called fretting hand muting. So if you're a right-handed guitar player, your left hand is your fretting hand. We're going to be looking at using exclusively the finger, the first finger that is holding that 5th fret, to mute all of the other strings. So if I just show you from this angle, what you need to do is you need to put your first finger onto that 5th fret and then sort of curl it in, not quite as exaggerated as that, but a little bit of curl, or a little bit of bend in it. So what you'll find is that all this part of your finger touches the other strings. So that part of my first finger is now touching the high E string and the B string and the G string, the D string, the A string, and then finally my finger is depressing the 6th string at the 5th fret there. So now if I strum through all the strings, all you can hear is that A note at the 5th fret that I'm strumming. Now whether you're playing rhythm guitar and you're just moving power chords, or if you're playing lead guitar concepts, that's something that you really want to get into doing, so that you don't hear, like I said, all of that extraneous horrible string noise. Okay, so that is, and obviously you can see in the tab the X's that are crossed off. That is to show there that these strings are all completely dead. Now if you're completely new to my channel, what I've been doing in the past little while is running people through my book, High Intensity Guitar Technique, which I published once upon a time up on Amazon. It's no longer available there. It's available digitally only at my own site, Cutting Edge Guitar. Now, what I've just done, I've just pushed go on a course that I designed to go along with the books, which is called the Cutting Edge Guitar Masterclass. It was a free bonus that took people through the books and helped them out a little bit more. Well, I've now made that completely available so that you can go and get access to that completely for free. So if you are looking for a structured path that will show you how to break down your learning into 3 key stages so that you can see progress and pace like you've never seen before, you'll learn your fretboard, perfect your technique, and combine those 2 previous elements into a working vocabulary of musical concepts. Okay, so go to the link in the description, go and grab that right now. It's completely free of charge. So if we just go back to what we're talking about in this lesson here, we're going to carry on looking at muting concepts. So if I scroll through to the next example, you can see now that I've got the 5th fret on the A string ringing out, or that's what I want to be ringing out. But what I want is the E string, the low E string, and then all of the others to be dead. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my first finger at the 5th fret on the A string. Now imagine if I was playing power chords on that string, or I might be playing lead guitar, sliding along the length of that string or something like that. What I don't want to hear is anything above that or anything below that. So what we're doing, we're going to fret our first finger in exactly the same way that we did on the E string there. So we're going to be curving that finger over so it touches all of the strings underneath. So from the high E string down to the A string. The only note that I can hear is my A string note. Now, if I just move my finger down a touch, you'll see that my E string is ringing. And now the reason for that is because the tip of this finger is not stubbing up to the underside of the E string. So what I'm going to do here, as I fret the note, I'm just going to push the tip of that finger up to the underside of that E string. So now when I strum through all 6 strings, the only note that's ringing is my A note there. Okay? So, when you're fretting in that way, you can use your fretting hand muting to keep all of the higher strings quiet and the lower string underneath that completely muted, so we don't hear any extraneous string noise. Okay? So, what I'm now going to do, if I move on through to the next part of the book, we've got example number 9, which shows the 5th fret on the D string. But what we need to do is we need to mute our E string, A string, and then the G, B, and E strings, okay? So if I fret the 5th fret on my D string, just with my first finger, if I stub up to the underside of my A string, I've got my first finger laying flat across the G, B, and high E strings. Now what will happen, if I strum through all 6, I can use my fretting hand muting technique to keep the A string downwards quiet, but I can't keep the E string quiet, and that's where this hand is going to come in. So if we just get rid of the tab for a second from the example. So what I'm going to do now, when I'm fretting this, my first finger is stubbing up to the A string, laying fretting the D string, then is laying flat against the G, B, and high E strings, okay? Then what I'm going to do is, if I strum through from the high E string down, I'm then going to take this part of my hand and then put that on the idle E string. So it's effectively like you're doing a karate chop to that string near the bridge saddles. Once I've done that, my annoying E string stops ringing out, and all I'm left with is that G that I'm playing on my D string. It's a G note that I'm playing there. Okay, so we're now using a combination of fretting hand muting over here and picking hand muting over here. Okay, so that is also going to be true when we go through in the next bunch of examples in the book. If you look at example 10 there, when I'm fretting my G string and my B string and then my high E string, I would need to use that same technique. So what I'm going to be looking at doing is, let's say for example I'm fretting the 5th fret on my G string. What we're going to be doing there is stubbing up to the underside of the D string, keeping that quiet, playing the note on the G string. Then I've got the B string and E string dead from the way that I'm fretting with that first finger. But then what I would do, karate chop to the E string and the A string to keep those 2 strings quiet. So now all I'm left with is that C on my G string ringing out. So again, you would repeat that process on your B string. And then finally the high E string, so that you're stubbing up to your adjacent string, laying flat over anything that is higher than you with that finger, and then using the picking hand to keep everything there muted. So if you get used to doing that when you're playing anything, even if you're moving through scales, as you're playing through an entire scale, what you want to get used to is your first finger, like as I'm playing these notes of the A major scale here on the E string, I'm using my first finger to keep everything else quiet. Then when I move to my A string, I'm stubbing up to the underside of the E string, but I'm also actually using a little bit of picking hand muting there. So as I'm playing that, I'm working on making sure that I fret in a way that will keep everything clean, but also I'm using a combination of the picking hand and fretting hand muting to keep all of that quiet. Okay guys, that's going to be it for this particular session. So don't forget that I have just made the Cutting Edge Guitar Masterclass course, which once upon a time that only came with my digital book bundle as a free bonus. I've now made that completely free for anyone to access. The link is in the description, or it's in my bio links on my YouTube channel. If you go to the channel links, you'll be able to go and it'll take you straight to that, and then you can access that completely for free. If you're looking for more help than a digital product can offer you, then you can also book in a call with me to take a free class so I can help you on your path as a guitar player. The links are also in the description and everything for that as well, or up on the channel. So, okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please do give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.